The next one that we have, like you were saying, is another family film. This time it does have the in the title. Unlike the Netflix one that did not have the, and Letterboxd would not bring it up. But The Family Plan, starring Mark Wahlberg, is Mark Wahlberg helping the family with a plan that he has, as he always does. I thought it was decent for what it was, as the new December outing.
Yeah, I think, and this is like not a kind thing to say about it, but this is like, to me, the epitome of laundry folding movie, because it's not something that's going to reward like close focus or attention, but like things move, people do stuff. There's some like kind of pithy lines there, but to me, I was just a little bit bored by the very like by the numbers execution of it, right? Because it feels like a combination of several films that you've seen before. And I just never felt like they were really adding anything new to the formula. Like
You
maybe
needed
if
to
you're
upload.
exactly if you have like a particular connection to Mark Wahlberg or Michelle Monaghan, maybe you'll take something away from it. But I don't know. It was just a bit bland for my taste.
Yeah. This is the new outing where he plays a father who secretly is actually a secret agent, and there's even more deep-rooted stuff to why it really is family-oriented from where it came from. But he's kind of been pulling that Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where he now has his whole family, never told them anything about it, and he's got to deal with his son who's a gamer, and he doesn't believe that his son can be a gamer. And it's like, Mark, that's such 10 years ago. Like he's having conversations that are so old. Some of them are more timeless. He's got the daughter who wanted to be a journalist. She's got like a scummy boyfriend. He's kind of dealing with that. But he does this bit where a lot of Mark Wahlberg movies, he likes to like tell you something. And he does agree with it, but he'll have his character like argue about it. So like, for example, early on, his daughter wants to be a journalist, and she goes, journalism is dead, or like fake news, whatever she says, and he goes, don't say that, that's mean. 30 minutes later, he will literally pay off like a news reporter or a news kid just to like kind of prove the point. And I'm like, I thought you were against that. And it's like, he like kind of sneaks in his little like ideas of what he has, and that's kind of how he's written a lot of these scripts. But like you were saying, it really is just a mixed match of a lot of different movies that you've seen. I'm getting a little tired of the CGI babies. It's not as bad as Family Switch, which had an abysmal AI baby.
Yeah,
but like that's the new American Sniper.
Totally,
is digital babies.
And it's funny because there's a prominent scene early on in the movie where Mark Wahlberg does a whole fight with the baby attached to his chest on the baby Bjorn. But I think it's almost like they didn't do enough CGI baby there, because he's like barely moving. The guy that he's fighting is getting thrown into shelves, and Mark Wahlberg barely looks like he's putting any effort into it because he's got this like very obnoxious thing strapped to his chest.
Yeah, and you can tell like it's not actually a baby.
Yeah,
the action choreography. Nunchuck with the baby.
There you go. Like, just go all out. If you're going to go there, like, be a little bit crazier with it, because certainly some of those like kick flips or like kick ups rather that he does would do a lot of damage to a baby anyway.
Yeah. Tim Cook said no, probably when he pitched that. It's standard. It's by the numbers. It's funny that you call it a laundry movie because he's still trying to appeal to that like manly man moment. Yeah. Like one of the big things that happens at the beginning is he doesn't like his picture being taken, and when he's out on a date, he gets his picture taken, and he just gets bullied by these people at the carnival, and then he comes home and he's like staring at the window, at the mirror in his like bathroom, and it's like, yeah, this is for the men. But ain't no dudes watching this. He's made a minivan movie at this point. The saddest part though is that he's not releasing it in theaters, right? These theatrical movies have now been relegated to Apple. I don't know if you think that that's more of an issue for Mark Wahlberg's trajectory, career. I wouldn't say so. Is it more the idea that you and I have been talking about comedies themselves not being big enough to sell?
Yeah, I mean, I think that movies like this, unless there is something particularly like special or eye-grabbing or like, that people already know they want to come in and see the movie. It's a harder sell in theaters, especially when there's so much like material of that quality competing with it on streaming already, right? Like this isn't like a particularly great Mark Wahlberg movie. And if you have the choice between seeing The Family Plan in theaters and spending all the money that it takes to go to theaters, or you can just like boot up Netflix and watch Spencer Confidential or something like that, like it's not really
Confidential.
yeah, like it's not really that. The quality of the movies is not really that different from one another, right? So maybe if this was something,
Family Plan, bro.
I mean, would you rather pay $100 and watch Family Plan in theaters, or $0 to watch your Netflix version of Spencer Confidential? Is maybe more the question here.
Yeah, true. I was just saying both in streamings. I think Apple still gave them the better film. But yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I mean that's more the argument why it like makes sense on streaming to me. But I don't know. I think there's a world where some movies like this could work, but they have to be movies that are a little bit more considered than this one that, you know, tries to sort of like in bold letters tell you the different conflicts, and the daughter, he disapproves of the daughter because she uses words like toxic masculinity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's a little bland.
Old dad's dialogue for sure.
Yeah.
I will say, out of everybody in here, Maggie Q deserved better. Maggie Q, I know they're giving you some movies. They need to put you in more movies. You are way too talented.
Yeah.
In multiple facets to be in
It's the kind of thing where Maggie Q shows up in one of the very first scenes, and you're like, oh, she's gonna turn on them. She's gonna be the villain. Yeah.
Come on now, bro. And you know what? And it's that early scene that she's in where she meets Michelle Monaghan at the kickboxing thing and like accidentally hits her. And I'm like, that was no accident. And I'm like, please just go the Mr. and Mrs. Smith route. You're already copying a lot of different things. The coolest thing here would not be that only Mark Wahlberg is the secret agent and she didn't know. That would have been a much better play if Michelle Monaghan, who can hold her own, was also somebody in there. But yeah. 2 Mission Impossible women also, which is kind of interesting.
Exactly.
Just thinking about that right now
there.
that I saw that. Yeah. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on this newest one from, what's his name? Mark Wahlberg. And what your favorite Mark Wahlberg movie is. I wasn't looking forward to this one, but I will say that this is now taking the place of what used to be, what's the one where they ended up, Will Ferrell? He ended up getting Mel Gibson towards the end.
Oh, they had I want to say Daddy Daycare, but that's the Eddie Murphy one.
No. Daddy's Home.
Daddy's Home, yeah.
Like this would have been his Daddy's Home 3 time, and I guess they weren't able to flip something, so they got this, The Family Plan. It's out on Apple TV Plus. Let us know your thoughts down below.